Hello, today we're going to go over the new Bronchoscope setup and how to run the screen of it. This is what it looks like, the screen, the little tablet. This box won't be here. We're still in the process of setting it up, but just ignore the box. It's holding the screen up for me right now. The first thing you want to do, there is a whole setup and step-by-step instructions on this BrainLab tablet quick start guide. Go through the guide. If it doesn't make sense or it doesn't seem like it flows well, please get back to me, because I've done this many times, so it makes sense to me, but it may not to you. And we can always change this and update it if we need to. But the first thing you want to do is you want to power it on, and the power switch is right down on the bottom, on the right hand corner of this tablet. And you got to hold it and push it, and then you should see a little blue screen that comes up where it says starting. Now when it warms up like this tablet takes up to a couple minutes to actually start up, so please be patient. Also, one thing to point out, that now the Bronchoscope always has to be plugged in, because it has to keep this battery good. This battery, actually, after you start it up and you can enter the patient's information, you can unplug the Bronchoscope and it'll last about a half hour being powered up. That's why we always got to plug in the Bronchoscope. So this is what the screen looks like after it powers up. You got to be very, very patient to let it power up, because it takes truly up to about 2 minutes. Be patient. It will get to this. When you touch the search bar, because you want to search for your patient now, touch right there. Be patient and the keyboard will pop up. And then write your patient's name in there. And I'm just going to put Tess, because that's going to be my patient. And it comes up here, and I can X out of this keyboard too if it doesn't go away, and look for my patient over here on this list. And here's my test patient. When I touch it, when I depress it, it turns orange. That means that's the one selected. So anything orange on this means it's selected. So that on our little guide here is step A. So we finished step A now, and now we're going to go to step C, not step B, because that's adding a whole new patient. So we flip the page over to step C down below. So that's where I am now. And then it says select the desired patient from the patient list by touching the patient's name. We did that, and it's highlighted. And then we're going to hit this select icon right down here, this orange select icon. So when I touch that, it has to switch over. And it takes a second. This thing isn't real fast. It might be faster once we get it up in the unit. On this page now, it wants to make sure that we got the right data screen, and it's going to say test RT bronch in the left-hand corner and on the right-hand corner. So just make sure that's your patient's name in both corners. Sometimes the screen will have other images here, and sometimes it'll be blank. When you're ready to, when you looked and it's your same patient that you selected, hit OK, the orange button again, and now we're ready to start our bronch procedure, and this screen will come up. There's two ways to capture your image. One's from the Bronchoscope, when they push the button forward like normal, the physicians will do that. Or on the tablet, if we need to do it from our end, we can just hit this little camera button here and just push it, and I just took a picture. Right here you will see this little screen, and that is actually the procedure going on, so you will be able to see the bronch right there. I'm going to take another screenshot just because, to show you guys what I'm doing. And that's, just pretend that's the doctor taking the pictures. Okay, now we're done with the bronch. Everything's done, and we're going to go to exporting. So this can just stay up during your whole bronch. There's no hurry to keep doing this, but as soon as you're done with the bronch, then you want to export these pictures into the patient's chart. So you go up to this little icon right there that says export and touch it. Now all your pictures from your bronch is going to come up here, and they come up already selected. Anything orange is selected. So let's say I got a lot of pictures that I don't want in my patient's chart, and usually the doctor will do this, but you got to look and see what the doc wants or doesn't want, and they can do this part too, but you got to assist them. And let's say this shot of the patient's airway looks good, this one doesn't, I don't want this one, I'm going to touch it. So once it's depressed and not orange, it's not going to go into the patient's chart. I do want to mention at this point in time though, that if you deselect it and it doesn't go into the patient's chart, we still can retrieve it. It still goes somewhere else in the system. So those pictures that are taken are always going to be there. So no matter what, it's just not going to go in the patient's chart. And you don't want to put all kinds of junk pictures in the patient's chart though neither. Okay, so now I selected which ones I want by touching them, deselecting them. And then I'm going to go down to this little orange icon that says export and touch that. And now it says that there's a little network share button, and that little folder I'm going to touch. Try it again. There, I must have not touched it the first time. After you touch it, you're going to see it downloading. All the little orange comes across and downloads. And then it says completed. Yay, we put them all in the patient's chart now. So now I want to go back to my home screen. So I'm going to hit OK once it's all done. And then it comes back to the bronchoscope screen. But right up here in the upper right hand corner is a finish button. You're going to touch that. And then you can choose what you want to do. I mean, if you got another bronch you're doing right after this, you can hit new treatment, but I'm going to just be done with my bronchoscope, clean everything up. So I'm just going to shut it down. So I touch that icon. And then it shuts it all down. I am going to repower this back up though and show you how to put in a new patient if the patient isn't in that patient list. Okay. So now on the BrainLab tablet quick start guide, if we can't find our patient in here when we first turn it on for the select button, then we're going to go on to adding a new patient, and that's step B. So lots of times you'll go from step A and go right over to step C here, but if you have to add a new patient, that's step B. So first I'd come in and try and search for my patient, wait for that keyboard to pop up, and I search for my patient. Okay, and see if it comes up. Oh, my patient does not come up. So now I got to add the patient. So I have to go over here to manage and touch that button, and it has a drop down menu, and you're going to select new from this menu, and it's the little head that says new. And then you want to go ahead and put in the last name, and the keyboard will pop up with that. Oops. If you screw up, you can just go back. Put your first name, date of birth, and then you want the medical record number here. Whatever you want that to be. I mean, whatever the medical record number is. And then when you're done doing that, you can X out of here and just go done in the lower right hand corner. And it's going to go to that data selection one. It's switching. And now it comes up, here's the patient's name, and there's no data. So sometimes you'll have old like bronchoscopes if this patient's ever had a bronchoscope before, and there's nothing. So then I'm going to continue on and hit OK. You just start following your procedure in your little manual, and it comes up to the bronchoscope, so we can go ahead and start a bronchoscope. So the bronchoscope whole tower looks almost exactly as our old one. You still turn it on the same, you still have to do your white balance. The buttons are a little different, but I'm sure you'll be able to figure that one out. The difference is we have the screen up above, which does turn just like our old one, and then the little tablet screen will be up like this. We're still working on getting it fixed and situated. This box is not going to be here neither. But this one right here, this will swing around. So if you're over here or teaching somebody, you can swing it around. When you're done, please put the arm down and just kind of slide this in to protect the tablet as much as you can. So when you're walking, that you don't hit it. The other thing that's different is just the drawers. I put everything in the drawers that you need. if you need something different or you notice that something's missing, we can always change your power levels. So just let me know. Just send me an email and we can fix it. And way down at the bottom, there is some more stuff. Just our triangle containers and then our sterile towels. And that should be it. But if you got questions, please email me or Chuck.